Oh, we are always looking for ways to make our homes look better, right? And here with some of the latest trends in home design and decor is Krogh-Jensen from BoConcept. Welcome to Bay Area Focus.
Good morning.
Okay, so BoConcept, I just want to know about this because it launched back in 1952. It's been around a while.
It has actually. They started out as wholesalers, and eventually became retailers in 1992, and spread feverishly throughout the world, and now they're a global company with over 300 stores in 60 countries.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so you have some ideas for us to kind of spruce up our home.
Indeed. I guess with the spring coming along, what's really important is to look at your outdoors. Living in the city, we have a lot of decks, and deck life can be really cold. Here we're featuring our new outdoor sofa line called Roam. And bringing upholstery outside is one way to kind of warm it up a little bit.
Is that scary though, because you're bringing it out to the elements?
Well, it's actually made for outdoors, so it's a special material that actually allows to weather all the elements. And then, you know, other things to warm up the space would be to add some textiles. The color, one of the trend colors this year is rose quartz. And it's kind of like a pinkish color. And that color in and of itself, by just adding it here and there, will really spruce up the outdoors and give it a little warm tones.
So we were looking at pictures of the outdoors, and now we're looking at pictures of inside, and that's
right.
That's one thing that you say is a good thing, bring the outdoors in.
It is, absolutely, especially in the spring. You really want to have, you know, that green element brought in to kind of, I guess you could say, spring the space up, if you will. You could do it in a very bold way by bringing in, as you see in one of the images before, it was a green sofa. So you could bring in that color, emerald green, another trend color, and use touches of metal, which, you know, in this image here, you'll see that there's brass. Brass, gold are very popular metals to be using, especially with these rich, bold tones like emerald green. Now, this is sometimes a little too much for people, you know, so there's also another way to kind of bring the outdoors in a more subtle way. And subtle can be sexy. So in this image here, you'll see how we brought in just a little touch of green.
Yeah.
And yet a very cool and modern look can warm up with just a little touch of the outdoors indoors.
Now, only real plants, or can you do some fake ones?
I found some really gorgeous fake plants here in the city, and that's after many years of just using fresh plants. So you could go either way, actually.
Okay. All right.
I prefer fresh just because of the whole concept of nature, bringing actual nature indoors. Right?
Sure.
Yeah. So talking about nature, some of the other things that really complement the soft tones, like the rose quartz and the ultraviolet. Ultraviolet is more like a deep purple. You know, some of the things that you can actually add to that to soften it up. You could use natural woods, like you see here, like there's some wood paneling, there's wood shelving, or even the living chair, as you see it there, the Adelaide living chair from our collection, it has oak wood legs, a nice way to bring in that wood finish.
And it's okay to mix different kinds of wood? Different colors of wood?
It is, actually. It's becoming more and more trendy to say, you know what, I'm going to mix white with walnut, with oak. Of course, you have to do it strategically. You can't just mix it all in a pot and say, there you go. But yes, the trend is to mix more and more woods together. If you're not a big fan of wood, you can use earth tone textiles. So in this case here, there's like some really, like a caramel leather, some gold velvet cushions. Again, all against those soft tones like that rose quartz wall that you see behind there.
Yeah, it looks great. All right, so one thing that we always like to do is personalize.
Right.
How do we do that effectively?
Right.
Without putting every family picture on the wall.
Absolutely. Well, there's a few quick tips that I can put out there. I think mixing gallery items with mirrors can be really interesting ways to kind of populate that hallway that you never know what to put up there. I think when you're choosing your images, try not to make them all family oriented. Try to mix them with, as you can see here, some of the outdoor elements, outdoor colors. So you see there's a couple of images here that are very personal, but then we added some green and some florals, and that's also a very popular pattern to add in the spring, which is florals. The other thing is when you're spicing things up, you don't be afraid when you mix accessories. So here you have metals, you have glass, you have woods, you have really a nice mix, but again with a touch of green.
And lighting can make a big difference.
Absolutely, and that was my last point. I mean, I think the lighting is the jewel in a room, right? And you know, people always say that as an aftermath, let me just put a lamp in the corner. But this can actually be the focal point of the space. And I encourage people to really, you know, spend a little extra and get something that's really special. Here, this is the wire table lamp by Werner Penta. And it's actually one of our best-selling lamps. And this here is called the Spiral. Really luminescent. The light actually reflects on every single spiral, which is actually a silver metallic.
Yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. All right, there are some good tips there. Caroline, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
And for more home design and decor trends, just go to BoConcept.com. Coming up, tune in to the power of the universe, the creation frequency, when Bay Area Focus returns.